Waiting to get back online. Looks like I'm coming back online. There we go. Yep, something is happening. My picture isn't moving. Does it look okay to you guys? Need to get my glasses back on. Thank you, everyone. I decided, just because I'm already doing a confused stream right now, I might as well keep it confused and drink some more beer. So cheers to everyone, and let's look at what I figured out. So back into our platform game project, and here we go into the sprite. And in the edit sprite, let's stop this one for a second. What we did was file, create from strip, grab this one and opened it. There we go. So now what this is all about. The top field here, number of images, is how many images are you going to use? I'm going to use 2 images. So this is a 2. Then it's going to ask me how many images per row. I'm going to use these 2 images per row. That's what there is. How wide is each image? Well, it's 500 times 500. That never goes wrong, Simon. Then the next set of values down here where it asks me about offset. Now imagine that I had a sprite, an entire, what do you call that, arc side, an entire page of sprites, and the top row of the sprites would be sprites that turned left for an animation, the next row would be sprite that turned right for an animation, up and down, and so forth. The horizontal and vertical offset cell here. The cell is what you've already pre-defined up here. So if you said I'm going to do a horizontal cell offset of 1, it would pick only one picture. It would pick the one that was set off out here. And if I said vertical cell offset, if I had a row down here, it would go down to that row. So, did you send me something on Discord? I better look at that. Let me see. It's going well. Oh, 3 new people, and I didn't even notice. I'm so sorry. I mean, well, back to the explanation. So all of these down here, we don't need them because we did that in a single strip. So we're not going to offset any of this to either side or up or down. We're just going to keep to telling it the size of each image is this. This is how many images, and this is how many per row. And then I'm going to check OK. Now it takes this strip and then it splits it into the 2 images I've asked for. So I've got an image 0, that's the down, and I've got an image 1, and that's the up. Quote cell. What am I looking for? Is it in the above the stats? Well, alcohol can be a quite entertaining thing. Now I've got my 2 images and I want to know what this is going to look like, and luckily I have this little show preview here that can show me my animation. So I'm going to tick that off and just expand the window here a bit, and now you can see the egg jumping up and down. So quite ready to hatch. Down here, let's take that one away, it's a bit distracting. No, I need that down here it says speed. This is my frame rate in the game. Or, well, it's my frame rate right now for this preview. If I put this down, it's going to change a little bit. Now it's going to try to figure that out too. This is not going to affect anything in game. This is just your preview speed. So let's say I want to really use this one. This one is nice. I want to see what it looks like right now. So let's check object player here. It already made sure that the one sprite we had, which is the one I edited, is now the same sprite here, because I already chose that sprite. There's only one to choose from. So okay for that. I still have my movements I put in there. I go into my room, and in here I have a speed, and that's your frame rate. Right now, as a default, it's set to 30. And as I said, that might be a bit choppy. But let's look at it and see how it works out. I'm gonna keep it at 30. Okay, and run the game. And there you have it, a really nice bouncing egg. And it still has its movement that we coded before. So if I click it, it will go slightly downwards, slightly upwards, or sideways in a nice, steady, slow pace. The choppiness at 30 frame rate isn't too bad when you do a 2-frame animation. But if you want a more detailed animation and you want realistic movement, you're not going to do 2-frame animations. You're going to do multiple frame animations. And when you do that, and if you run it at a frame rate of 30, it doesn't always look particularly good. But luckily, you can just go into the room and change it up to 60, which is what most of us are used to. I'm not sure we're going to see much of a difference in this one, but let's just do it anyway and play it to see if we can see any difference. It's a bit smoother. Not a lot, but it is a very simple animation. Okay, and let's shut this one down again. Now 500 times 500 is a bit of a large sprite. If you remember, the default for a sprite is 32 times 32 pixels. So usually I would make sure that my sprite is a decent size for that. And I'd usually do it before I even get into Gamemaker. Meaning, if I take this, I reopen my GIMP that I hid down here, I go into this one, this layer, grab layer, scale layer, and now I have this thing. You see, this is 501 high and 1000 wide, which is just kind of stupid. Games and computers prefer certain numbers, and that is why the 32 times 32, because we count like this. We count 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 124, and onwards. And this has something to do with bits, bytes, etc. So let's not get into that, because that's a whole other episode. But I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to do it by focusing on the height here. I'm going to make sure it has an acceptable number. And I want it to be 124. So I tab in my 124. Now, to be able to change this independently, I have to break this chain, because otherwise it's going to scale it, yeah, like that. So 124, and then we have 248, because there was only 1 pixel off. So 248, height, width and 124 in height. So I'm going to scale that. I'm going to export it straight to the same file. Power of 2 exactly. No, I'm not going to do a math lesson when I'm drunk or tipsy. Let's say tipsy, that sounds nicer. So I exported that one straight to the same file. It's now a much smaller object or image. This means that it doesn't take up as much space either when the computer works with it, so that's always a good thing. So back into my sprite, I'm going to edit my sprite. I'm going to add from strip. No, I'm going to create from strip, not add from strip. File, create from strip, egg up and down, open. Yes, that one. Now you can see this doesn't look quite right because image width and height are not the same as it was before. So now we need it to be 124 instead. And oh, it's because I only did the layer. 1 second, that was a GIMP mistake. I forgot that the entire image here is still 1000 times 501. So I'm just going to grab that layer, this visible layer, Control C, Control Shift V, and it opens up as its very own file here. Then I'm going to export to, choose egg up and down, and export. And replace. And export. Close that one down. Close without saving. I don't need that one anymore. It's just for demonstration purposes anyway. That one down. Cancel that one. File. Create from strip. We're going to go through this so many times that you're going to know how to do this. And I'm going to remember it. So now you can see it looks a lot more like it's supposed to, because now the entire image fits. Don't feel stupid, Sasu. It's just a question whether or not you had any training in it or spent a lot of time looking at it. The only reason I know any of the stuff that I do about computers, besides being interested, is the fact that I have a degree in computer science, which, as you can hear, isn't perfect when I'm drunk. So it's not like you get perfect. So let's say OK to this. And you can see now my previewing file here, it went down in size as well. Gonna accept this, gonna accept this. And now when I go into my room, I have a much smaller egg. This right now is a player, but what it really is an object. So if I go into objects and make more than one, I can just add a couple of more of these. And then when I play, you will see all 3 eggs having the same behavior because they are all programmed to do exactly the same thing. Ah, yes, 128. That's just me again. Now I can move them separately because they're separate entities, but they're all running the same animation. And if I press A, they will all start moving left out screen. Well, I can still move them, of course, like this, but since someone reminded me, let me change that right away. Control C, Control Shift V, make new image, file, image, scale image. I want it to be 128. There we go. 256. Yeah, 256 looks much better. Scale, file, export to, same file as elsewhere. Export. Oh, that was the wrong one. Cancel. Egg up, down. Export. Replace. Export. If nothing else, I hope that you've noticed that you don't have to be a genius who knows everything all the time. You can be really, really erroneous in your coding and still just fiddle around with it, and with the help of some good friends, you'll make it all work anyway. I would recommend, if you want to do a game, to find someone else to do it with. Um, of course, there's this one, I want to be the one to sit down and make a game, but one person making a game, if it's for actual sale, is going to take much longer than two people making a game, especially if you choose a partner with different talents than the one you have. So if I would go and look for a partner, I would look for someone who was way stronger in coding if it was me, or I would look for someone who had a lot more ideas than I do. But having someone as a sounding board to bounce ideas against as a minimum, also because it'll help you figure stuff out, and they might bring up some ideas that you never even thought about. So that's of course just my personal view on this. Oh, I forgot one thing. Our player sprite here, you will always want to center them. So their origin, right now their origin XY says 0, 0. That means that when it draws it, it starts from up here and then draws it downwards. And when you place it, it will act like this is the center point. If you center them, you will get your center point into the actual middle. You can manually, if you want to, make it even more the middle of this, but since this is actually two images, I'm going to stick to the center of the image. And the center button will just automatically snap to the center of the object. Let's see, what is people saying by now? Synchronized dancing eggs, yeah. If nothing else, it's fun to move at, fun to look at. No, that's true, Symes. I'd never had any work like that if I had to be a genius, but luckily all you have to do is be slightly more clever than the person hiring you when it comes to computers. So collaboration is good if everyone is committed to the project. Yes, of course, that's part of it. You need to find someone who is in the same frame of mind as yourself about the project you're working on. That said, if you find someone who's just saying yes to everything you do, what you found might not as much be a partner as a yay sayer. And while that sounds good, there is not a lot of real developing going on between you. It's going to be just one of you developing. Exactly, Astral. You only have to be slightly faster than your body. So I centered this one, I'm saving this one. Now we have the right size, hopefully. Object player, double check. Yes, it has the sprite, same sprite as always. Fine. And it's visible. Room 1, got my sprites here. Objects, yes, looking nice. Yes, and let's just run it once more to look at the dancing eggs. There we go. Heavy jumpy eggs. Right now it looks kind of jerky, the way they move. And one of the reasons for this is I haven't gone in and made any code defining the image speed. So all it has to work with right now is the frame rate. So it'll just move according to the animation and the preset values in Gamemaker. When we start doing the coding, and that's not going to be today, that will be next Monday, I will probably do start up by doing some of this coding for this, and then I'm gonna finish off working on some of the other parts that you need to put in a room to actually have a platform game. And one of the things I would really like if you would participate in is I would like an opinion about what graphics I should make ready for next episode. As you can see here, these are doodles. We have a flower, we have a dodo, a monkey, a raven, a frog, a pumpkin, a weird eyeball dude, a tiny caterpillar, and we have the egg right there. That one was the easiest to make quickly in GIMP, so that's the one I focused on today. So if people have an opinion on what it would be fun watching me work with graphic-wise, please say so, and we will. Let's see. I already have some voices here. Dodo and monkey, of course. Yeah. Flower, raven, monkey, and dodo. Raven. So, if we are going to vote for a main character, do we want it to be dodo, monkey, flower, raven, or eyeball? Because we have to have the main character, the player characters. And the other characters we can use as enemies in the platform game. But we need someone to be the one going through everything and being a tiny little player sprite. I knew you'd vote that, Welshie. I don't know how I knew. I'm maybe psychic. But Team Dodo there, definitely. Oh, my mods don't have... you have as many more votes than my mods because I have very few mods. Eyeball, oh, Dodo, monkeys, we can rigged, Dodo are the evil enemy. Well, maybe just to make sure that that we don't get a Team Dodo or a Team Monkey. Maybe it should be the eyeball or the flower or the raven. Well, maybe raven is kind of Team Monkey as well. So eyeball or flower, perhaps. Now you want either the monkey or the dodo, I see. Okay, if we only choose between monkey and dodo, who's it gonna be? Oh, I'm back. Maybe we should do a poll of some sort. Mods, do you know how to do a poll? Because I don't. A pokey bear. If you want something entirely new, Symes, you're gonna have to write exactly what that is and make the other people in chat vote for it too. Right now I'm just watching chat, waiting for something to happen. I have no idea, Searle. I am not the expert on polls. This is my first ever scheduled stream. So I'm pretty much leaning on my mods to help me out with stuff like that. I think there's a poll command in Nightbot, but I'm not really sure how to use that. Ah, there we go. Straw poll. Please go vote. so we can figure out what the main character of this game is going to be, so I have something to work on for next time. So next time I'm gonna pre-make the main character, the player, and I'm going to show you about coding for movement, not just using the pre-programmed function in Gamemaker, but how you very simply, with not too much code, can make a character move like in a platform game. So where are we at? Where are we at? Let's see. What does the straw poll tell me? Ooh, I think so far it looks like the bear is the one in the lead. That would be quite cute, actually. So I'm gonna give you a minute more to vote. And then I'm gonna take that result and I'm gonna use it. And the bear is up to 3 votes. That's 50% of the voters that voted for the bear. I've got 2 votes for the eyeball, so that's pretty popular too. And Team Monkey has some votes as well. Let's see. Yes, the dodo can still be in the game, of course. All the other characters are still available as either background or enemies, or we'll find some way to stuff them in there. And then we're going to start it up as a very simple platform game where you can jump and move back and forth. That's going to be main part of the coding next time. Plus I'm going to show you how to make the object that's going to be the platform. So we have something to jump on. Yeah, we'll just stuff them in there. Well, I think that's what it's going to be. The bear is going to be the main character. There are 2 votes for the eyeball, so definitely he's going to be in there as well. And Monkey and Dodo, I know I have to have them in there. And yeah. Yes, let's repeat that. We have some streamers that we really like you to follow if you don't already. And one of them is, of course, the very talented Shaded Areas that's in chat right now. He draws awesome pictures. Nothing as simple as this. He is a real artist. I'm mainly a dabbler when it comes to stuff like this. He is actually trying to make a living from it, which I respect very, very much. And if it isn't art that you want to look at, if you just want like classic game stream with a little bit of variety in it, I would recommend Geek Girly. She is she is one of my favorite variety streamers, and she has a busy schedule, streaming several days a week, several hours each day. So there's a good chance to run into her. Let me just check out if there's anything of the things I decided that I would talk about today that... Oh yes, one more. People who already work with computers and development of any kind, they've probably heard about iterative development. And that's part of what we're working with here when we do a game this way. It may look a bit silly that I'm just sitting here playing around, doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But the point of iterative development is that you focus on one aspect at a time and then you finish it. And then after that, you add another aspect and you make it fit with what you already made. So what we're doing here is we're working very loosely with what's called iterative development. Back many, many years ago, when coding was very different, that was not how they did it. They basically planned an entire project ahead of time, which meant that if changes occurred at the start of the project, they would have to replan the entire last part of the project. So today most people work iteratively to make sure that you always have something ready. This is also one of the reasons that you have all these pre-releases and yeah, is Anna still streaming? Since we're talking raid. No, Shaded Areas is not to deny that he's awesome. I'll even call myself an artist if I have to, just to make him say that he's one too, and awesome. She is, yes. Let's do a very, very first raid from a scheduled time slot. That would be awesome. Then I can do some hosting and we can kind of send everyone back into Anna's stream. Because I pretty much covered everything I had planned covering today. And I'm a little past, I'm 2 hours and 14 minutes, which is pretty okay for the first run through of this game development stream thingy. So let's get a raid command up and running. Let's see. Yeah, let's do furball raid. Or just, let's see. Oh, furball raid, that'll work. That'll work. The cats have been fed. Anders was really kind and he fed them on his way to bed so I wouldn't have to leave the stream and the stuff I was doing. So, yay. Nice boyfriend. But yes, let's just get Anna's info here. Open link. There we go. Twitter. Following. That one. This is who we are rating. And we're just all gonna say furball raid, like Welshie he wrote it. Like that. So, thank you very much. It was a pleasure, slightly confusing, and I am looking a lot more forward to next time and hope to see a lot of you again next time. So, what do you say, Shaded? Ta-ta for now, and see some of you in Anna's chat. I'll bring a cat.